Here we go. Good morning, world, and welcome to Johnny Millwater's Happy Place. I'm your host, Johnny Millwater. Very happy to say, hey, it worked. I love it when it worked. Huh? Look at this, all fancy for you today. I'm doing headshots later on in the afternoon, so I figured I might as well warm my suit for you, see how it looks in the clips. Hope you're feeling well. I hope everybody's doing good. I am, ups and downs, strikes and gutters. I don't feel fantastic this week, but I've had a fantastic week. How about that? So I hope you're doing well. Here's how it works. If it's your first time watching the show, let's go over to the chat. Very nice. This is it. This is our chat chalet. This is where I talk to you, the viewer. You can see right over there. Hey, Tony's here. Love the dogs. Caroline's here. That's exciting. Welcome to you both. Just so you know, Tony, the dogs, that is a painting I made on AI. I've always wanted to perform for an audience full of well-dressed dogs. So that's the painting I made. I try to keep it on the down low that I'm using AI, but I find it very, very entertaining since I have very bad hands and they don't make the art I want. And good morning to you, Carolyn. I hope you're doing well. Very glad you're here. Where are you coming in from? You traveling today? Or are you home? Oh, wait, no, it's Picard. Carolyn Picard. Oh, my goodness. How you doing? I thought you were somebody else. Are you traveling today? Tony, I believe you know Carolyn. Carolyn, Tony, you're both comedians, and I'm glad you're here. If you have anything on your mind, type it into the chat. It'll pop up in about a minute and a half. I'll come back and we'll talk about it. But until then, let me show you how it works. I spin the wheel, on the wheel I have a whole bunch of things that make me happy, bring me joy, and hopefully you enjoy them too. But, hopefully. We'll see how it works. Let's start simple. Let's spin the wheel, see what happens. You can see all the choices we have on the wheel. You can request any of those, of course, if you'd like. All right. Oh, nice. Let's go to Shakespeare. Let's head on down to the Shakespeare stage. There we go. I've been making my way through the sonnets. This is sonnet number 10 by William Shakespeare. I like to do it early because my dad doesn't like sonnets, and he usually tunes in about half an hour. So, here we go. Sonnet number 10 by William Shakespeare. For shame! Deny that thou bearest love to any who for thyself art so unprovident. Grant, if thou wilt, thou art beloved of many. But that thou none lovest is most evident. For thou art so possessed with murderous hate, that 'gainst thyself thou stick'st not to conspire, seeking that beauteous roof to ruinate, which to repair should be thy chief desire. Oh, change thy thought, that I may change your mind. Shall hate be fairer lodged than gentle love? Be as thy presence is, gracious and kind, or to thyself at least kind-hearted prove. Make thee another self, for love of me, that beauty still may live in thine, or thee. Fun. All right, let's spin the wheel. I'm so happy. It being home, great. I have really come to love being home. All right. Ooh, prose. Nice. Let's head on into the prose library. Here we go. Oh, I forgot to do an introduction for that. Hey, we're in the prose library. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, the other one looked electronic and animated, and I didn't really enjoy it. I figured this kind of fit the whole thing a little bit more. Thanks for noticing. I appreciate it. Oh, this is exciting for me. I'm going to read some Vonnegut. I have excerpted the first chapter of Dead-Eye Dick, one of my favorite books by Kurt Vonnegut. Good morning, Shayna. I'm so happy to see you. Let's see. There we go. I can hear that. And I would like to read for you from Dead-Eye Dick by Kurt Vonnegut. Okay? Dead-Eye Dick by Kurt Vonnegut. Vonnegut. To the as yet unborn, to all innocent wisps of undifferentiate nothingness, watch out for life. I've caught life. I've come down with life. I was a wisp of undifferentiated nothingness, and then a little peephole opened quite suddenly. Light and sound poured in. Voices began to describe me and my surroundings. Nothing they said could be appealed. They said I was a boy named Rudolph Waltz, and that was that. They said the year was 1932, and that was that. They said I was in Midland City, Ohio, and that was that. They never shut up. Year after year, they piled detail upon detail. They do it still. You know what they say? They say the year is 1982, and that I am 50 years old. Blah, blah, blah. My father was Otto Waltz, whose peephole opened in 1892, and he was told, among other things, that he was the heir to a fortune, earned principally by a quack medicine known as St. Elmo's Remedy. It was grain alcohol, dyed purple, flavored with cloves and sarsaparilla root, and laced with opium and cocaine. As the joke goes, it was absolutely harmless, unless discontinued. He, too, was a Midland City native. He was an only child, and his mother, on the basis of almost no evidence whatsoever, concluded that he could be another Leonardo da Vinci. She had a studio built for him on a loft of the carriage house behind the family mansion when he was only 10 years old, and she hired a rapscallion German cabinet maker who had studied art in Berlin in his youth to give father drawing and painting lessons on weekends and after school. It was a sweet racket for both teacher and pupil. The teacher's name was August Gunther, and his peephole must have opened in Germany around 1850. Teaching paid as well as cabinet making, and unlike cabinet making, allowed him to be as drunk as he pleased. After father's voice changed, moreover, Gunther could take him on overnight visits by rail to Indianapolis and Cincinnati and Louisville and Cleveland and so on, ostensibly to visit galleries and painters' studios. The two of them also managed to get drunk, and to become darlings of the fanciest whorehouses in the Midwest. Was either one of them about to acknowledge that father couldn't paint or draw for sour apples? Who else was there to detect the fraud? Nobody. There wasn't anybody else in Midland City who cared enough about art to notice if father was gifted or not. He might as well have been a scholar of Sanskrit as far as the rest of the town was concerned. Midland City wasn't a Vienna or a Paris. It wasn't even a St. Louis or Detroit. It was a Bucharest. It was a Kokomo. Gunther's treachery was soon discovered, but too late. He and father were arrested in Chicago after doing considerable property damage in a whorehouse there, and father was found to have gonorrhea, and so on. But father was, by then, a fully committed, 18-year-old good-time Charlie. Gunther was denounced and fired and blacklisted. Grandfather and grandmother Waltz were tremendously influential citizens, thanks to St. Elmo's Remedy. They spread the word that nobody of quality in Midland City was ever to hire Gunther for cabinet work or any other sort of work ever again. Father was sent to relatives in Vienna to have his gonorrhea treated and to enroll in the world-famous Academy of Fine Arts. While he was on the high seas in a first-class cabin aboard the Lusitania, his parents' mansion burnt down. It was widely suspected that the showplace was torched by August Gunther, but no proof was found. Father's parents, rather than rebuild, took up residence in their 1,000-acre farm out near Shepherdstown, leaving behind the carriage house and the cellar hole. This was in 1910, 4 years before the outbreak of the First World War. So father presented himself at the Academy of Fine Arts with a portfolio of pictures he had created in Midland City. I myself have examined some of the artwork of his youth, which mother used to moon over after he died. He was good at cross-hatching and shading a drapery, and August Gunther must have been capable in those areas too, but with few exceptions. Everything father depicted wound up looking as though it were made of cement. A cement woman in a cement dress walking a cement dog, a herd of cement cattle, a cement bowl of cement fruit, set before a window with cement curtains, and so on. He was no good at catching likenesses either. He showed the Academy several portraits of his mother, and I have no idea what she looked like. Her peephole closed long before mine opened. But I do know that no two of father's portraits of her resemble each other in the least. Father was told to come back to the Academy in 2 weeks, at which time they would tell him whether they would take him or not. He was in rags at the time, with a piece of rope for a belt, and with patched trousers and so on, although he was receiving an enormous allowance from home. Vienna was then the capital of a great empire, and there were so many elaborate uniforms and exotic costumes, and so much wine and music that it seemed to father to be a fancy dress ball, so he decided to come to the party as a starving artist. What fun! And he must have been very good-looking then, for he was, in my opinion, the best-looking man in Midland City when I got to know him a quarter century later. He was slender and erect to the end. He was 6 feet tall, his eyes were blue. He had curly golden hair, and he had lost none of it when his peephole closed, when he was allowed to stop being Otto Waltz, when he was just another wisp of undifferentiative nothingness again. So he came back in 2 weeks, and a professor handed him back his portfolio, saying that his work was ludicrous. And there was another man in rags there, too, and he, too, had his portfolio returned with scorn. His name was Adolf Hitler. He was a native Austrian. He had come from Linz. And Father was so mad at the professor that he got his revenge right then and there. He asked to see some of Hitler's work, with the professor looking on. He picked a picture at random, and he said it was a brilliant piece of work, and he bought it from Hitler for more cash on the spot than the professor probably could earn in a month or more. Only an hour before, Hitler had sold his overcoat so that he could get a little something to eat, even though winter was coming on. So there is a chance that if it weren't for my father, Hitler might have died of pneumonia or malnutrition in 1910. Father and Hitler paled off for a while, as people will, comforting and amusing each other, jeering at the art establishment which had rejected them, and so on. I know they took several long walking trips, just the two of them. I learned of their good times together from Mother. When I was old enough to be curious about Father's past, World War II was about to break out, and Father had developed lockjaw as far as his friendship with Hitler was concerned. Think of that. My father could have strangled the worst monster of the century, or simply let him starve or freeze to death, but he became his bosom buddy instead. That is my principal objection to life, I think. It is too easy, when alive, to make perfectly horrible mistakes. The painting Father brought from Hitler was a watercolor, which is now generally acknowledged to have been the best thing the monster ever did as a painter, and it hung for many years over my parents' bed in Midland City, Ohio. Its title was The Minorite Church of Vienna. I so enjoyed the Kurt Vonnegut. Hey, good morning. Oh, Sauce is here, too. This is exciting. All right, let's go back to the chat. There we go. Good morning, Sauce. Glad you're here. Good morning, Shayna. Good morning, Tony still. Good morning, Caroline, if you're here. Caroline said, nope, I'm still home, which is fantastic. If you know Caroline like I do and the amount she's traveled throughout her life, it's wonderful to be home and relaxed. Tony, same thing. Good to see you. Thanks for giving me nice things to say about the new window. Shayna says good morning. And she noticed I'm all dressed up this morning. I am. I'm wearing a suit today. Let me get this out of the way. I'm doing headshots today. The brilliant Adam Conovo, I'm sure you're a fan of Adam as I am. He is coming to take pictures of me and a few friends of mine today for some publicity and for my new headshot. So I figured I'd wear my suit because it's comfy and I might as well. Thanks for noticing. Sauce says, good morning. How are you, sir? Very glad you're here. Want a Hitler? I wouldn't put that in print. I'd say it, but I wouldn't put it in print. I'm sure they're available. I don't know if you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but there's a recurring theme that Charlie owns a Hitler painting. Hey, Sauce, I wanted to talk to you, buddy. You left a comment, and I didn't know what to do. It was too much to type, so I'll talk to you about it now if you're available. You said, how do you sign up to work on cruise ships? Generally, the people who work on cruise ships have been working for headlining for about 15 years. You have to have a minimum of 90 minutes of material, no crowd play, straight material. A 30-minute show that's completely clean with kids in the audience, and 2 adult shows, 30 minutes each. That's the bare minimum. Most of the comics I know who are working currently, they have 5 shows. They have 5 half-hour shows that are all different. Most of the way in, they have an audition process. You can send them a tape and all that foolishness. But the way that I got in and the way that everybody I know got in is they were recommended by other comics. I can do my own headshots. I wanted to do it for somebody else. Okay, sorry. Oh, no. But anyway, it's a long experience, and then when it's ready, after you've been working clubs for a while, it's mostly club headliners who've been working for about 10 years. But besides that, you can certainly figure out how to put your set together, and if you ever want to sit and talk about it, I'd be thrilled to talk to you about it. I hope to see you soon, Sauce. Thanks for asking before, and thanks for being here on a big show. Hey, Sauce got a joke. What's happening? Lee, this is good morning, Johnny. Good morning, Lee. Hope you're doing well. My best to your kids. You can AI a dog audience, but not headshots. It's true. Although I'm doing a lot of AI art, trying to promote stuff for the future. I'm planning on just taking my real face and putting it into AI paintings. But I wanted to get some headshots first, so it's true. I can do my own headshots. I have for the past, actually, this is the first time I've had headshots in about 5 years. Since 2017, I've been commissioning a new painting every year, but I figured only about 60 minutes. Yeah, sit together. Don't message me because I'm useless. I can't type. I'm dyslexic. I barely, that's why I love this thing so much. You can message me that you want to get lunch, and I'll sit and talk to you for half an hour or whatever you want, for sure. But if you ask me a question, typing, I'm not going to be able to give you the best answer I can because I got problems. But I'm glad you came. Thanks for coming. All right, we're all caught up. That was fun. What do you say we spin the wheel? Oh, pros. Wrong button. Sorry, folks. Here we go. Anything can happen when you spin the wheel. What do we get? What do we get? Ooh, joke. Nice. Let's go to the comedy club. Whoop, Caroline just pointed something out very important. Let me answer this question before we keep moving. Shayna just asked something really good. She said, I was trying to quote Sauce Got Jokes tagline. Do you have a tagline, Johnny? Just curious. I got this thing I made up, and I have mostly joking. As sometimes I go, I'm mostly joking. I do it several times during my new special. Mostly joking. That's as close as I got. It's not as good as Sauce's. Caroline pointed out something very important. You also need an agent right now if you want to work for Carnival. They do all their booking through agencies. They don't want to deal with individuals anymore because it's too much hassle for them. But we can talk about it. We'll get it figured out. Nice. All right, then. We are here in the joke area. Let's tell a joke. All right. This is a classic. It's a very old joke, but it's one of my all-time favorites. Here we go. What did the Zen Buddhist say to the hot dog vendor? Make me one with everything. Get it? I love that one. It's one of my all-time greats. All right, let's spin the wheel. Whoop, wrong button. I'll tell you when you haven't heard later, don't worry. Oh, Zen Cohen. All right, let's go to the campfire. I believe, for those of you who don't know, as a couple of first-timers, thanks for coming. Zen Koans are brief stories used to teach the concepts of Zen Buddhism. I find them all very interesting, and I like telling them. So, I believe we are up to Zen Koan number 22, My Heart Burns Like Fire. This is Zen Koan number 22, My Heart Burns Like Fire. Soyen Shaku, the first Zen teacher to come to America, said, My heart burns like fire, but my eyes are as cold as dead ashes. He made the following rules, which he practiced every day of his life. In the morning, before getting dressed, light incense, meditate. Retire at a regular hour. Partake of food at regular intervals. Eat with moderation, and never to the point of satisfaction. Receive a guest with the same attitude you have when alone. And when alone, maintain the same attitude you have in receiving guests. Watch what you say, and whatever you say, practice it. When an opportunity comes, do not let it pass by. Yet, always think twice before acting. Do not regret the past. Look to the future. Have the fearless attitude of a hero and the loving heart of a child. Upon retiring, sleep as if you had entered your last sleep. And upon awakening, leave your bed behind instantly, as if you had cast away an old pair of shoes. Like that one. All right. Sauce got some laughs out of that. Sounds good to me. Let's spin the wheel. Ooh, all right then. Well then, let's do a song in a cappella. Why don't you meet me in my private library? That was weird. Wonder why it happened that way. There we are. Nice private library. I am going to sing a song. It's my favorite song by the Barenaked Ladies. I've never attempted to sing it before, but I think it's beautiful. The song, my sister, who's also a Barenaked Ladies fan, my sister just thinks it's a song about a window washer, but I think that it's a song about a window washer who's thinking about committing suicide. They just dropped my suicidal ideation from a couple years back onto the internet today, so we'll see how that turns out. But this song is called When I Fall. Look straight in the window, try not to look below. Pretend I'm not up here, I try counting sheep, but the sheep seem to shower off this office tower. It's 9.8 straight down, can't stop my knees. I wish I could fly from this building, from this wall. And if I should try, would you catch me if I fall? My hands clench the squeegee, my secular rosary. Hang on to your wallet, hang on to your rings. Can't look below me, something will throw me. I curse at the windstorms that October brings. I look straight in the boardroom, a modern pharaoh's tomb. I'd gladly swap places if they'd care to dive. They're lined up on the window, peer down into limbo. They're frightened of jumping in case they survive. I wish I could step from the scaffold onto soft green pastures, shopping malls, or bed with my family and my pastor and my grandfather who's dead. I look straight in the mirror, I watch it come clear. I look like a painter behind all the grease, but painting's creating and I'm just erasing. A crystal clear canvas is my masterpiece. I wish I could fly from this building, from this wall. And if I should try, would you catch me if I fall? When I fall, when I fall, when I fall. Mm-hmm. I love that song. All right. Ooh, hey, we got a plug going on. Let's go back to the chat. Love that song. Ah, man, that felt good. Now let's do some shameless promotion for the 7 people watching. The 3 that are in town. Well, oh, Adam Conovo. That's the guy I was talking about. He's the one who's doing the headshots today. He's brilliant. Now, Adam Conovo takes amazing photos and videos. I know that's true. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but he's brilliant. I'm hoping he'll come to my weekly Music Trivingo shows. I hope he comes out for you, too. My first show starts this Wednesday from 6 to 8:30 at the People's Market. That was the People's Eyebrow right there. I don't know if you can tell. The People's Market on Elizabeth Avenue. Sounds good to me. I love Elizabeth Avenue. I love markets, and I love people. So I hope that'll be fun. Hope to see you there. Hey, Shayna has a question. She said, Johnny, I'm still wondering when you're going to do stand-up at Crazy Horse. Ha-ha and ta-tas with Sauce-Got jokes. The moment I am invited or booked, I will be there. That's all it takes. Just got to get that done. All right, so this is fun. Thank you, Shayna. Hey, I got to see you the other day. I got to see the big show with the Christine show, huh? Come on, can we talk about the Christine show? We'll talk about it when I come back. But I want to talk about that show. That was really cool. But let's go back to the wheel. Anything can happen when you spin the wheel. Oh, another song that cheered me up. Oh, all right. Let's do it that way then. To the monologue. Meet me in my theater. Now, last week, I did a short monologue from the film Other People's Money. At the very end, it's 2 monologues. One is done by the founder of the company, the other by a fellow named Larry the Liquidator. Last time I did the founder of the company's speech. This time I will be doing Larry the Liquidator's speech. from other people's money. Amen. And amen. And amen. You have to forgive me, I'm not familiar with the local custom. Where I come from, you always say amen after you hear a prayer. Because that's what you just heard, a prayer. Where I come from, that particular prayer is called the prayer for the dead. You just heard the prayer for the dead, my fellow stockholders, and you didn't say amen. This company is dead. I didn't kill it. Don't blame me. It was dead when I got here. It's too late for prayers. For even if the prayers were answered and a miracle occurred, and the yen did this, and the dollar did that, and the infrastructure did the other thing, we would still be dead. You know why? Fiber optics, new technologies, obsolescence. We're dead all right. We're not just broke. And you know the surest way to go broke? Keep getting an increasing share of a shrinking market. Down the tubes, slow but sure. You know, at one time, there must have been dozens of companies making buggy whips. And I'll bet the last company around was the one that made the best goddamn buggy whip you ever saw. Now, how would you like to have been a stockholder in that company? You invested in a business, and this business is dead. Let's have the intelligence, let's have the decency to sign the death certificate, collect the insurance, and invest in something with a future. Oh, but we can't, goes the prayer. We can't because we have responsibility, a responsibility to our employees, to our community. What will happen to them? I got two words for you. Who cares? Care about them? Why? They didn't care about you. They sucked you dry. You have no responsibility to them. For the last 10 years, this company bled your money. Did this community ever say, oh, we know times are tough. We'll lower taxes, reduce water and sewer. Check it out. You're paying twice what you did 10 years ago. And our devoted employees who have taken no increases for the past 3 years are still making twice what they made 10 years ago. And our stock 1/6 what it was 10 years ago. Who cares? I'll tell you, me. I'm not your best friend. I'm your only friend. I don't make anything. I'm making you money. And lest we forget, that's the only reason any of you became stockholders in the first place. You want to make money. You don't care if they manufacture wire and cable, fried chicken, or grow tangerines. You want to make money. And I'm the only friends you got. I'm making you money. Take the money. Invest it somewhere else. Maybe you'll get lucky and it'll be used productively. And if it is, you'll create new jobs and provide a service for the economy and, God forbid, even make a few bucks for yourselves. And if anybody asks, tell them you gave it to plant. And by the way, it pleases me that I am called Larry the Liquidator. You know why, fellow stockholders? Because at my funeral, you'll leave with a smile on your face and a few bucks in your pocket. Now that's a funeral worth having. Nice. All right, that was fun. Still nothing new in the chat, but we'll say hi anyway. Oh, Caroline's here. Thank you, Caroline. Caroline says that both you and Kim have beautiful voices. That's extremely kind of you to say. Kim has a beautiful voice, and I am working on mine till someday I can make it work. Thanks for saying so. Appreciate you. All right. Let's spin the wheel, see what happens. Oh, wrong button. Woo, all right. Poems. One of my favorite parts. Let's head into the poetry corner. When are you going to do a set, Crazy Horse, Shayna? There, get my poetry voice on. There, nice, right? There we go. One. Bring in the chat. Oh, this is a good one. I discovered a new list of 100 great poems this week, and this is beautiful. This is Those Winter Sundays by Robert Hayden. That's Robert Hayden. Sundays, 2. My father got up early and put his clothes on in the blue-black cold, then with cracked hands that ached from labor in the weekday weather, made bank fires blaze. No one ever thanked him. I'd wake and hear the cold splintering, breaking. When the rooms were warm, he'd call, and slowly I would rise and dress, fearing the chronic angers of that house, speaking indifferently to him who had driven out the cold and polished my good shoes as well. What did I know? What did I know of love's austere and lonely offices? Ah, that's lovely. Let's spin the wheel. Dad's here, yay! All right, roses and thorns. Nice, let's go back to the chat. For those of you that are new to the show, Roses and Thorns is an experience where we talk about what worked and what didn't work about last week. What made you happy, what made you unhappy. The roses are the good things and the thorns are the bad. I'll start, and I hope you'll type in all of yours and I get to read them. Let's see, my roses this week. I got to see the kids every day. That was really nice. I got to make breakfast for everybody. Got to have daddy-son breakfast with my son. He calls it father-son breakfast now, but I got to do that on Friday, and that's one of my favorite parts of the week. I got to go see a show this week. That was a rose. I got to go see the Power Pointless Presentation Show at the VisArt. That was produced by Christine McLennan and starred Nathan, I shouldn't say the name, starred Paul Platt, Nathan Brown, and several others who were brilliant. I had a great time. I really enjoyed the show. I liked the spot. The place is just absolutely beautiful. I just really, really, really love VisArt. I'd never been there before, so that was cool. And I got to see, Christine's mother come up on stage and find out that I've been mispronouncing her name the entire time I knew her. It's McLennan. Now we know. It's like Norm Macdonald. It's McLennan. So that's fun. I'll be the first one to say that right. She was brilliant. Everybody was really, really funny. And I had a great time at the show. So that was a rose. I've been depressed all week. It hasn't helped. You know, I'll talk about this here. This is the place. The good folks at Open Bar Comedy have been releasing a lot of interview shorts of me. And none of the interview shorts, I talked for a good 40 minutes and 23 minutes of it was about stand-up comedy and about my work as a comic, and about 7 of it was about my struggles with mental health out at sea. And for some reason, they have decided to chop up all the mental health stuff and put all of that out and push it hard. And I don't like hearing it. I don't like seeing it. I shouldn't have said it. I don't mind other people see it, but I don't like opening up my social media, flipping through and seeing myself complain, talking about my feelings. I don't care for it, but I can't stop it, and I shouldn't have said it, and it's not like they could take it down. I was hoping they would be pushing my stand-up clips that hard, but anywho. So that was my thorn. So what are your roses and thorns this week? Oh, hey, here's one. Tony started us off. Thank you, Tony. Tony said his rose was he had a great show this morning, The Supplemental. Make sure you check that out, also on Facebook. His thorn, he was overwhelmed by a video project he's working on. Contrary to popular belief, there we go. Does Christine McLennan pronounce her last name McLennan? Thought she pronounced it McLennan. She might, but Christine's mom pronounces it McLennan, so that's what I'm going to do from now on. My dad says his dislike of sonnets has been overused. It's an old joke, and he's tired of hearing it heard. All right. Any roses and thorns for you, Shana, Dad? Type them up. We'll come right back, all right? Let's spin the wheel. Ooh, wisdom. Nice. All right, let's go into the wisdom. We'll lay down some wisdom from up on high. All right, here we go. Well, get myself centered. Didn't know one of my shoulders was higher than the other. And here we go. This is wisdom from Timothy Leary. Admit it. You aren't like them. You're not even close. You may occasionally dress yourself up as one of them, watch the same mindless television shows as they do, even eat the same fast food sometimes. But it seems that the more you try to fit in, the more you feel like an outsider, watching the normal people as they go about their automatic existences. For every time you say club passwords like, have a nice day, and weather's awful today, huh? You yearn inside to say forbidden things like, tell me something that makes you cry, or what do you think deja vu is for? Face it, you even want to talk to the girl in the elevator. But what if that girl in the elevator and the balding man who walks past your cubicle at work are thinking the same thing? Who knows what you might learn from taking a chance on conversation with a stranger? Everyone carries a piece of the puzzle. Nobody comes into your life by mere coincidence. Trust your instincts. Do the unexpected. Find the others. That's wisdom from Timothy Leary. I'm quite fond of him. All right, let's spin the wheel. Still keeping an eye out for the roses and thorns from everybody. All right, let's see. Oh, we'll go to the chat since Shana was nice enough to say something. Hold on. Now, I believe Shana, she said it was refreshing to see how open and honest you were about your mental health in the interview. That took a lot of courage. Well, I wasn't too courageous. I didn't think anybody was going to see it. I've done hundreds of podcast appearances, and I've never, ever had one chopped up and served like that. So I didn't expect anybody to listen to it except my closest friends. So thanks for calling me courageous. That's very kind. All right, then, enough of this foolishness. That's not foolishness. You're doing lovely. Type some more and I'll talk to you some more. Let's spin the wheel. Ooh, Shakespeare. Nice. All right. Let us make our way to the Shakespeare stage. I've got some more poems by William Shakespeare that aren't sonnets. I thought it might be fun. This one's called Fear No More by William Shakespeare. Fear no more the heat of the sun, nor the furious winter's rages, though thy worldly task hast done. Home art gone, and ta'en thy wages. Golden lads and girls all must, as chimney sweepers, come to dust. Fear no more the frown of the great, thou art past the tyrant's stroke. Care no more to clothe and eat. To thee the reed is as the oak. The scepter, learning, physic must, all follow this, all come to dust. Fear no more the lightning flash, nor the all-dread thunderstone. Fear not slander, censure, rash. Thou hast finished joy and moan. All lovers young, all lovers must consign to thee, and come to dust. No exorciser harm thee, nor no witchcraft charm thee. Ghost unlaid forbear thee, nothing ill come near thee. Quiet consummation have, and renowned be thy grave. Lovely. Joke. All right then. Let's go to the comedy club. I'll tell you a joke. All right, this is a dark one, and it's very meta, but I'm very, very fond of this joke, and I think it's a fantastic, I think it's a great joke. So here we go. I don't know how funny it is, but it's an excellent, excellent use of humor to make a point about something. So, a Jewish comedian dies, and he goes to heaven, and he meets God. And God says, oh, you're a comedian. Tell me a joke. The comedian tells God a Holocaust joke. God shakes his head and says, that is not funny. Jewish comedian says, guess you had to be there. Huh? All right, let's spin the wheel. Ooh, all right, Zen Cohen. Let us go to the campfire. There we go. This is Zen Cohen 25, 3 days more. Siwo, the disciple of Hakyun, was a good teacher. During one summer seclusion period, a pupil came to him from a southeastern island of Japan. Siwo gave him the problem. Hear the sound of one hand. The pupil remained 3 years, but could not pass this test. One night, he came in tears to Siwo. I must return south in shame and embarrassment, for I cannot solve my problem. Wait 1 week more and meditate constantly, advised Siwo. Still, no enlightenment came to the pupil. Try for another week, said Siwo. The pupil obeyed, but in vain. Still another week. Yet this was of no avail. In despair, the student begged to be released, but Siwo requested another meditation of 5 days. They were without result. Then he said, meditate for 3 days longer. Then, if you fail to attain enlightenment, you'd better kill yourself. On the second day, the pupil was enlightened. I think that's all about raising the stakes to get things done, giving yourself a deadline you can believe in. I like that story. A little dark near the end, but I liked it. Oh, we got some stuff. Let's go to the check. Let's go to the chat. Oh, this is fun. Now, Shayna, she says, does McCree, we talked about Matt Glennon. Shayna says it was refreshing to see how Austin was. Gotcha. All right, fine enough. Technical question. How are you downloading this show? I am using Facebook automatically uploads it and saves it. I'm also recording it using OBS, and then I take that recording of OBS and I upload that to YouTube. Usually I take the original before I upload it to YouTube and I chop it into 2 pieces that are 45 minutes each, and I put those on my phone. And then once they're on my phone, I use my phone to pick out the clips, and I put those up twice a day. That's how I do that. I'm going to start on Twitch next week after, sometime soon. When you're on Twitch, it automatically uploads to YouTube, so you don't have to record it while you're playing, because I lose a lot of quality while I'm recording. So that's the way I do that. I hope that helps. Also, check your OBS settings for the output. Make sure it's putting out the highest quality that you can, and that you're recording a copy. Yeah, that's all I can think of. Thanks for asking. Shayna said one of her roses was teaching her very first paint and sip class, where we all painted portraits in the style of Picasso. It was so much fun, and she looks forward to teaching more in the future. Maybe you and Debbie can join me next time. I kind of wanted to go to that one. I think you should, if you do one on a Saturday afternoon, I'll probably go. The evenings are tricky, especially when I'm not feeling right. And if Debbie would go with me, I'd do it in a heartbeat, but just by myself, I don't know. I know it's a wonderful time. I can tell it's joyful just from the pictures and knowing you, but I'm nervous. Even at the PowerPointless show, I was just very, very uncomfortable, and I was surrounded by people I knew and liked. Oh, hey, speaking of which, Shayna says that one of her thorns was not getting to say hi to you after Christine McLennan's PowerPointless show. I had to get out of there. I didn't say hi to anybody. As soon as the show was over, I ran for my car. I had a little attack of the crazies. You know how it goes. I shouldn't talk about it too much, but it was a wonderful show, and I enjoyed it very much, and I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye to anybody. I'm hoping to have lunch with every member of the cast and audience in the coming weeks. Oh, hey, Shayna says that in addition to Picasso, she also plans to teach some workshops related to other artists, such as Andy Warhol, Van Gogh, and famous artists, who are some of my favorite visual artists. I'm only a big fan of 2 visual artists that I can name by name. I am a big fan of MC Escher, who, besides being a brilliant architect and artist, is also a great rapper. And as MC Escher, and there you go. And what's the other one? Oh, and I'm a big fan of Salvador Dali. I love Salvador Dali. I have several Salvador Dalis in my home. Oh, hey, and there's a guy named Alex Ross. If you've been in my bathroom, there's a guy named Alex Ross who paints comic book art. He's my favorite. So I have like 20 or 30 Alex Rosses hanging in my bathroom. I'm a big fan of his work. So that's my favorite. Who are your favorites? I'm always curious to learn more. And Tony says, locally record. Dirt. Thank you. Time to look into Twitch. It's not bad. I highly recommend the Twitch. It's a lot more interactive, and yeah, you'll see. Hopefully, I'll be on Twitch in the next 2 weeks. I almost said this was my last one, but I'm going to wait till February, and then I'm switching over to Twitch. I hope you guys will come with me. I'll make sure everybody gets the links. All right, that was fun. Thanks, Chad. Way to go, Mel Watchers. I love you guys. Now, let's see. What do you say we spin the wheel? Ooh, okay. Now, I've been trying something new. Would you do me a favor? Let's step into my private library. Gotta wear my headphones backwards so I don't mess up my hair. Headshot. There we go. There we go. Now, last time I sang a song, I'm trying something different. For the past couple of weeks, I've been singing one song and reading one song's lyrics as poetry. I'm a big fan of the Barenaked Ladies. I think there's a lot of people who don't realize what brilliant lyricists they are. One of their songs from their 5th or 6th album is called Call and Answer, and it's a song about breaking up with somebody and then thinking maybe you'll get back together. It was a very important part of my life for a very long time, so I wanted to read that to you, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called Call and Answer by the Barenaked Ladies. I think it's getting to the point where I can be myself again. I think it's getting to the point where we have almost made amends. I think it's the getting to the point that is the hardest part. And if you call, I will answer. And if you fall, I'll pick you up. And if you court this disaster, I'll point you home. I'll point you home. You think I only think about you when we're both in the same room. You think I'm only here to witness the remains of love exhumed. You think we're here to play a game of who loves more than whom. And if you call, I will answer. And if you fall, I'll pick you up. And if you court this disaster, you think it's only fair to do what's best for you and you alone. You think it's only fair to do the same to me when you're not home. I think it's time to make this something that is more than only fair. So if you call, I will answer. And if you fall, I'll pick you up. And if you court this disaster, I'll point you home. But I'm warning you, don't ever do those crazy, messed up things that you do. If you ever do, I promise you, I'll be the first to crucify you. Now it's time to prove that you've come back here to rebuild. 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 Ah, they're so good. Let's go back to the chat. Nice. Yeah. Ooh, we got some more interesting. This is great. Locally recorded. Thank you. Time to look into Twitch. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Shayna said, I love Escher and Dali too. I'm thinking of doing a Salvador Dali painting class. Boy, that'd be awesome. I don't know. Oh, hey, speaking of which, Hey, this is nice. Do you know another visual artist I appreciate? Andy Forrester. He's probably tagged in this thing now. Andy Forrester, he's a very funny comedian who makes some of the most enthusiastic facial expressions I've ever seen. Andy is my brother in the silly face department. I love Andy. He is brilliant. And I used him to make my poster last year, and any posters I make this year, I'll probably use Andy. He's fantastic. Good catch. Oh, here, Tony, he says, I'm maxing out my processor in some of these scenes. I know I am. I don't really know what to do about it. I think a big problem with the maxing out the processor is the fact that I am recording it. I'm twice as much recording it as I'm streaming it. If I record it and it records on Twitch, then I don't think that I will lose the frames as much. But thank you for the heads up. I appreciate you looking out for me, Tony. Hey, Shannon says, do you think that Paul Platt has recovered from his baby powder inhalation? For those of you who don't know what Shannon's talking about, I went to a show, I was talking about the Power Pointless show. And my very good friend Paul Platt, one of the funniest guys in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'd like to consider him a friend. Paul was hosting the show as a character named Booker T. PowerPoint, the inventor of PowerPoint. They built a time machine, and they brought him from 1860, where he invented PowerPoint. I believe at the time he would just point at people powerfully, but it evolved. But he found out that PowerPoint was being used for evil, so he came to fix the problem. Now, in order to make it clear that he was from the past, Paul decided to wear an entirely white tuxedo, which worked. Wasn't quite his size, but it worked. No dress shirt, just t-shirt, very weird. Anyway, and he covered his face with the white baby powder. Now, I use baby powder to set makeup. So anytime you see me use Butch, you see me do Butch Hockersmith, or anything where I'm doing makeup, Rodney Dangerfield, clown work, whatever it is, I put the makeup on, and then I use a sock with baby powder in it, and I go, and then you brush off the baby powder, and then it's set. That's the old clown method for setting makeup. So yes, I think he will recover. He'll be fine. It won't cause any infections or any problems, and it dissolves pretty easily, but also pretty handy if you're going to sweat a lot. So I thought it worked great. But yeah, he made a big deal out of it. He put way too much powder on his face. And Shana said, I love Craig's power presentation of his usage of pie charts and Venn diagram. I loved everything Paul did. One of my favorite parts of Paul's set was he made as if to skip 7 or 8 PowerPoint slides, and each one was funnier than the last, and I enjoyed that very, very much. Now, he's brilliant in pretty much any format, including off the cuff. Fantastic show, fantastic performer. Love me some Paul Platt. What do you say we spin the wheel? Whoop, wrong button. Oh, good. Okay. All right, then. Let's go to the theater. Oh, no. There they are. Monologues. Sorry, I have a little bit of technical problem here. Bear with me, folks. We'll be right back after these words. Paralytic. Monumental. Pentaverate. All right, here we go. We're going to do some stand-up by my favorite comedian, the brilliant Brian Regan. If you're not familiar with Brian Regan, you should go check him out. I know, Shannon, you just watched the special a couple of days ago. This is Brian Regan talking about tennis. I'm trying, man. I have a trainer, a woman. We play tennis. She beats me every time. A couple of weeks ago, I beat her for the first time. She didn't say anything. I thought that was weird, you know. I didn't want to say something. I beat you. It's okay. We put the rackets away. She says, my husband and I have an announcement to make. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And she says, I'm 5 months pregnant. So I beat a pregnant woman at tennis. Yeah, I beat both of you. Neither of you can handle this action. Tennis is weird. The scoring system per game in tennis is mathematically ludicrous. It doesn't make even a little bit of sense. First of all, there's no zero. If you don't have any points, you have to say love. If you don't say it like that, your opponent gets upset. How many points you have, Brian? I think you know. I've never touched the ball ever. I have 0. You have love. I don't feel like it. Why that? You don't say it with other things like your checking account. Oh no! I've got love. Be careful. That's the smart part of the scoring system. If you get your first shot in, he'll go, you got 15. No, That's not possible. We just arrived. You get your next shot in, you get another 15 for a total of 30. Okay, all right, I got it. Say no more. But you get the next shot in, you get 10 points to a total of 40. No explanation as to why this ratio is any different from the first two volleys. 10. So say the random gods. I award 10 at this juncture for no apparent reason. If both of you have 40, that's deuce, which I thought meant 2. If you get the winning shot, there's no point value. He'll just go game. How many points did I get? Game. What are you worried about points for? I thought we were keeping a ridiculous tally. All that mental gymnastics is out the window. Love, 15, 30, 40, game. How come somebody didn't go to that first meeting? That first scoring system meeting? I know I'm late. And I hope I'm not out of line. I see all that trigonometry you have on the board, and I can only imagine you've already discussed this, but instead of that, how about 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, Charlie. You're Charlie's idea. Charlie thinks little numbers is better than love. 15, 30, 40, deuce my head, 30, 50, your head. He thinks little numbers is better than all that. Another thing I don't like about tennis, why are you allowed 2 tries for every single serve? You get a mulligan every serve? Give me the ball back. Hit head to the net. Give it back. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. I get a point? No. We're playing the most lenient game in the history of sports. I can make error after error after error and still be in this game. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball back. The hell? Can you imagine seeing that in other sports? A quarterback looking at a defensive back with a football. Give me the ball back. Give me the ball back. Where do you think you're going with that? Give me the ball back. I did not want to throw that interception. Give me the ball back. Give me the ball back. So why in tennis do they allow that? That encourages people who play 3 times in their whole life. They know every first shot is a freebie, so they try to land some rocket that don't have a chance in hell of ever touching down on the planet Earth. They hit some shooting star across the street. It lands on the roof of some warehouse. They know the next one has to get in, so they morph into a completely different player. Well, blink. Want to explain that first scud was all about? We got 3 balls in the can. Relax. You see little Wimbledon boys running these down? If it goes over the fence, I'm not going to get it. Ball's over the fence, Brian. He's like, how many do we have left? Love. How perfect is that? Ugh, so good. Brian Regan is so very, very good. All right, let us. Which state panhandle makes you most sexually aroused? Well, all right, hold on. They had a couple extra things. Let's go back to the chat. Now, let's see. Craig's PowerPoint presentation, absolutely. Craig is fantastic, and I adore him. Very, very smart. I love to see visual puns. That's a rare treat. He had great visual puns, and I enjoy that. Now, Shana said, I was wondering if Paul Platt wished he'd used powdered sugar or flour instead. Definitely not. Flour is very, very difficult to get off. It sticks, and sugar melts and makes your body all sticky. It's a whole thing. He definitely did the right thing. Baby powder is made for your skin. He made the right call. You should just keep it out of his mouth. Oh, he said Paul Platt was hilarious, and I loved his oversized white magician's costume. That's what that was. He mentioned to me backstage that's his date outfit that he wears on first dates. That wouldn't surprise me a single bit. He's a lady killer, that Paul Platt. Now, Shana says, inquiring minds want to know, which state makes you most sexually aroused? For the folks at home, our friend Christine McLennan, who had her big show, she had one of her first PowerPoint presentations, comedically, which are the 10 U.S. state panhandles, and which ones make her most sexually aroused. I had a lot of problem. It's definitely not Oklahoma. I know that because it's big and it's blocking. A big problem with most of the panhandles is their blocks. They're square and they have very sharp edges, and that doesn't turn me on at all. I like the ones that are all wiggly. They look like a key almost. So probably the Florida Panhandle is actually nice. I've been there, and it's lovely, and the people are as close to great as Floridians can be, and yeah, the Florida Panhandle. I forget which one had it was a big square state, but then a little one over here, just a little, just a on the end of it. So probably that one. But that's what we're talking about. Thanks for asking, Shayna. Jad says that bit is hilarious. Isn't Brian Regan a genius? I cannot get enough of him. All right. Well, that was fun. Tell you, which one makes you most sexual aroused, Shayna? Yeah, turnabout's fair play. How do you like that? All right. Well, what do you say we spin the wheel? All right. Well, let's go down and lay some wisdom from on high. Guess what? I've got some more wisdom from the brilliant Kurt Vonnegut. I love Kurt Vonnegut. Let's give it a try. All right. Somebody once asked me, you hate America, don't you? That'd be as silly as loving it. It's impossible for me to get emotional about it because real estate doesn't interest me. It's no doubt a great flaw in my personality, but I can't think in terms of boundaries. Those imaginary lines are as unreal to me as elves and pixies. I can't believe that they mark the end or the beginning of anything of real concern to a human soul. Virtues and vices, pleasures and pains cross boundaries at will. That's wisdom from Kurt Vonnegut. He's very good. Let's spin the wheel some more. Ooh, poem, nice. Let's head on down to the poetry corner. Oop, wrong button. Here we go. Hey! Oh my goodness gracious. Hold on. What's great back to school? All right, we're going to get to a poem in just a minute, but I'd like to take a second. This is very exciting for me. My dear friend Ryan Van Gendren's in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? Ryan Van Gendren, local legend. You've heard us talk about him on the show many, many times. It's the first time he's come to say hi in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? I miss you. You going to be out and about soon? How are the two kids? How's the lady? How are you? I miss you. I keep on trying to have lunch, but it doesn't work out. Glad you're here. All right. Thank you. Shayna says that she loves how I took the question seriously and also for the details you went into, explaining which panhandle is the sexiest. Well, that's where all the fun is. All right. Let's see. We have made our way to One Art by Elizabeth Bishop. Let me put my headphones on for this one. And we'll get the deal up here so we get some extra juicy audio. And here we go. The Art of Losing, One Art by Elizabeth Bishop. The art of losing isn't hard to master. So many things seem filled with the intent to be lost, that their loss is no disaster. Lose something every day, except the fluster of lost door keys, the hour badly spent. The art of losing isn't hard to master. Then practice losing farther, losing faster, places and names and where it was you meant to travel. None of these will bring disaster. I lost my mother's watch, and look, my last or next to last of 3 loved houses went. The art of losing isn't hard to master. I lost 2 cities, lovely ones, and vaster some dreams I owned, 2 rivers, a continent. I missed them, but it wasn't a disaster. Even losing you, the choking voice, a gesture I love, I shan't have lied. It's evident the art of losing's not too hard to master, though it may look like, write it, like disaster. How true that is. There we go. Florida's Panhandle looks like it has both length and girth, yes, and doesn't appear to have any jagged edges. That's all I'm saying. And how about that? There's Shayna asking about Ryan. Ryan hasn't replied yet, but still, it was very nice to see him stick his head into the big chat. Loving him back at school, he says, great. Shayna's asking him questions. Let's continue. Spin the wheel. All right, back to Shakespeare. Let's go to the Shakespeare stage. Let us do Once More Into the Breach. This is Once More Unto the Breach, dear friends, spoken by Harry in Act 3, Scene 1 of Henry V. Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more, or close the wall up with our English dead. In peace there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage. Then lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let pry through the portage of the head like the brass cannon. Let the brow overwhelm it as fearfully as doth a gulled rock, or hang and jutty his confounded base. Swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now set the teeth and stretch the nostril wide. Hold hard the breath and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, on, you noblest English, whose blood is fet from fathers of war proof. Fathers that, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts, from morn till eve, fought and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you'd call fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not, for there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble luster in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England, and St. George. Yeah. Harry, England, and St. George. You got to do that in the right order, or else it looks like St. George's Harry. Holy gosh. We got some more stuff from this. Great. Let's go to the chat. Wrong button. Here you go. Great. Shayna. She was talking more about the girth of the Panhandle. Ryan said, hopefully soon. Johnny and I had an awesome show not too long ago. That was great. It's true. I told him about on the stream. We got to work with the brilliant and trustworthy North Carolina comedy booker Chuck Johnson, who I absolutely adore, and who was kind enough to let us both perform in the show. I got to headline. Ryan got to do, I think he was, call it what you want. He kicked ass before I went on. And it was a great time, and it made me very, very happy, and it made me happy to see Ryan. And I know you got the goods. That's not the problem. So I hope you'll come out and hang out with us. Miss you, man. I don't know. I feel like there was a brotherhood between us a long time ago, and I don't have enough people I feel that way. So I'll just put that out there. Now, Shayna, she want to know when that was. I just explained that. Johnny, Ryan just said, I'm loving the interview with you and Ron Feingold. Thank you. We talked a little bit about that the show earlier, too. I feel a little exposed. I feel a little, I like a whiner, but thank you. I'm getting positive feedback from everybody, so thank you very much. Appreciate you, Ryan. And Shayna is giving us another lovely compliment. Thank you very much. Ryan Van Gendren, you and Johnny Millwater are both hilarious veteran comedians. Isn't that cool, Ryan? And BJ from Oklahoma, one of the weirdest panhandles in the country. Yay, Shakespeare. Hello from Oklahoma. BJ is back. BJ is back in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. She has been traveling all around the Australian continent for several months, and she is finally back in Oklahoma, where she belongs. I like Oklahoma, and I like you, BJ. I miss you. How you doing? BJ is a brilliant musician, by the way. You should check her out. Follow her page. Here's something she has to say. Now, BJ says, I have a choice between watching you and watching the brand ambassador, and I am choosing you, Johnny. Love you. Thank you. I like me better than the brand ambassador, too. Is it still that nice lady, Christine? I can't tell. And James says, hello, sister. I'm not sure who he's saying hi to, but I'm glad somebody's here. Love you too, BJ. Miss you a lot. Oh, I wish I thought about you. There's a song by Johnny Mercer called I Thought About You, and it's I took a trip on a train and I thought about you. Da, 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 da. It's a beautiful song, and I think about you every single time I hear it because we took a trip on a train. We actually got to sit next to each other and enjoy Alaska, and it was wonderful. Hey, Kimmy's here! Yay! Another friend from Carnival Cruise Line. A lot of comedians on this lineup. Kim's here. BJ's here. Oh, Shayna's here. This is very, very exciting, my friends. What do you want to talk about? We'll come right back. Tell you what, why don't we spin the wheel? Here we go. There it is. Ooh, jokes. All right, then let's head into the comedy club. Into the comedy club. Here we go. Hell, I got one for you. Here we go. This is a terrible joke, but my daughter loves it, so I'm recording it. Healed as no lady. Is that the guy? Oh, jeez. Oh, my goodness gracious. This show, I believe you and I first bonded over our love of Brian Regan and Ben Folds. This episode has had both Brian Regan and Ben Folds covers in it. I love them both. Yes, definitely. Healed is no lady. John Healed, he's the brand ambassador, and I'm more entertaining by far. All right. Let's do the joke. Here we go. What's the smartest insect in the world? A spelling bee. I'll chop that up. It'll be a fun 5 seconds. All right, let's spin the wheel. Ooh, a cappella. All right. Cool, let's sing a song. There's supposed to be a thing. Hold on. Ha ha! There. What? Huh? No. What? It doesn't matter. Here we are. All right. Did some Brian Regan. Let's do some Ben Folds. I just downloaded a whole bunch of Ben Folds 5 to either read or perform. I'm going to read Smoke. This is fun. Smoke by Ben Folds 5. Not only is it a fantastic song, but it's an interesting story. Ben Folds gets a lot of credit for the brilliant writing of this particular song. The lyrics are powerful and beautiful, but it is not lyrics that he himself wrote. He took a letter that was written to him by his ex-wife as she left, and he put music to the words of her letter. Now I'm going to work backwards and read it as a letter, since I don't sing very well in his register. So this is Smoke by Ben Folds 5. Leaf by leaf and page by page, throw this book away. All the sadness, all the rage, throw this book away. Rip out the binding and tear the glue, and all the grief we never even knew. We had it all along. Now it's smoke. The things we've written in it never really happened. All the things we've written in it never really happened. And all the people come and gone, never really lived. And all the people come have gone. No one to forgive. Smoke. We will not write a new one. There will not be a new one. Another one. Another one. Here's an evening dark with shame. Throw it on the fire. Here's a time I took the blame. Throw it on the fire. Here's a time we didn't speak, it seemed, for years and years. And here's a secret. No one will ever know the reasons for your tears. They are smoke. We will not write a new one. There will not be a new one. Another one. Another one. Where do all the secrets live? They travel in the air. You can smell them when they burn. They travel. Those who say the past is not dead can stop and smell the smoke. You keep saying the past is not dead. Well, stop and smell the smoke. You keep on saying the past is not even past, and you keep saying we are smoke. Smoke. Love me some Ben Folds. Nice. Nice. Right, I'm going to be listening to that one later on myself. That's a great song. Also, the song Mess. I have that lined up for next week. I'm a big fan of that one. Oh, hold on. Somebody said something about Brian Regan. Here we go. Let's go to the chat. Brian Regan was a pleasant surprise. Oops, Johnny, what happened? Hold on. Johnny, healed. Johnny, tell Ryan Tell Ryan he needs to watch Loudermilk. Hey, Ryan, you need to watch Loudermilk. Seriously, Loudermilk is a great show about sobriety and the sobriety process, not quite AA. It stars a couple of funny people, but it has Brian Regan in a dramatic role, and he is just amazing. He's funny and interesting in the first 2 seasons. And in the 3rd season, they give him some stuff to chew on, and he made me cry. He acted so well, he made me cry in the 3rd season. The story between him and his daughter is just lovely and powerful, and he's fantastic. His new album is great, too. His new album is What Matters Most, and I did one of the songs from that album last week, as a matter of fact. I did Christine from the 7th grade, which you can't get much better than that. Oh, this is fun. I'm so happy to have you all here. Anybody have any requests? Let me know. All right, let's spin the wheel. Ooh, all right. Well, let us head to the Poetry Pavilion. Oh, this is good. This is a new one I found. Let me see if I can get my headphones back on. This is by the brilliant Wallace Stevens, and it is entitled 13 Ways of Looking at a Blackbird by Wallace Stevens. Number 1. Among 20 snowy mountains, the only moving thing was the eye of the blackbird. Number 2. I was of 3 minds, like a tree in which there are 3 blackbirds. Number 3. The blackbird whirled in the autumn winds. It was a small part of the pantomime. Number 4. A man and a woman are one. A man and a woman and a blackbird are one. Number 5. I do not know which to prefer, the beauty of inflections or the beauty of innuendos, the blackbird whistling, or just after. Number 6. Icicles filled the long window with barbaric glass. The shadow of the blackbird crossed it to and fro. The mood traced in the shadow an undecipherable cause. Number 7. O thin men of Haddam, why do you imagine golden birds? Do you not see how the blackbird walks around the feet of the women about you? Number 8. I know noble accents and lucid, inescapable rhythms, but I know, too, that the blackbird is involved in what I know. Number 9. When the blackbird flew out of sight, it marked the edge of one of many circles. Number 10. At the sight of blackbirds flying in a green light, even the bawds of euphony would cry out sharply. Number 11. He rode over Connecticut in a glass coach. Once, a fear pierced him in that he mistook the shadow of his equipage for blackbirds. Number 12. The river is moving. The blackbird must be flying. Number 13. It was evening all afternoon. It was snowing, and it was going to snow. The blackbird sat in the cedar limbs. I enjoyed that one a lot. Back to the chat. I could say, oh, Ryan will be back. Oh my God, that makes me so happy. Hold on, back in the chat. Ryan says he's going to be tuning in every week, which would make me astonishingly happy because I like to know what's going on with you. I want to hear you bragging. And eventually, listen, I have a gig now where I'm going right by where you work every Thursday or Friday. Every single Thursday, I'm driving a half hour to work with my buddy Stu at the Amelie's there. And I'm right next to you. So I would love to just sit and break bread 10 minutes, just look you in the eye, give you a hug, you know? That'd be nice. Now, Shannon wants to know, what are my top 3 karaoke songs to sing? Great question. Ryan and I actually did karaoke together. He's one of the only comedians I've done karaoke with in my entire life. Him and Chesney, I think, are about it. And see, I like doing Sinatra songs. Yeah, those are my favorite. Fly Me to the Moon. It's a great song for karaoke. My Way, of course. I used to close my show escaping from a straitjacket and singing My Way. I'm also very fond of Beastie Boys tunes. Most of this music that I enjoy listening to, I can't sing. I have a very specific voice. I can do a lot of Johnny Cash stuff. What are your favorite songs? Mr. Jennifer Lunch. One of hers is No Rain by Blind Melon. And I remember when we weren't getting along so much, you asked somebody to learn the rap part to Groove is in the Heart, which I did. Even though we weren't talking at the time, I love that song and I wanted to do the rap part. Maybe we can do that together sometime and that'll be fun. Hey, Kim says that she has to go. She's meeting Mr. Jenna for lunch. I love you all. That's cool. For those of you that don't know, Jeff Jenna is a brilliant stand-up comic and a fine, fine man. He's a good friend of mine. We've flown together and shipped together 3, 4, 5 times. And he's an amazing guy. Tell him I said hello. Tell him I have tremendous respect for him. Thank you. All right, folks. It looks like we're almost out of time. I think we got time for one more fun thing. Let's see. Let's spin the wheel and see what happens. Here we go. Monologues. All right. Tell you what, let's see if I can. I think I just put some Brian Regan on there. Dean Martin, oh, he's good. And Kim, karaoke. Love Shack. Yes. I forgot. I love doing Love Shack. Bought me a Chrysler. It's as big as a whale, and it's about to set sail. Yeah, I forgot about that. We did do Love Shack. Weird. It's weird doing a song with your sister because they're mostly love songs. Dean Martin, great songs. Kicking the Head. Can't go wrong with Kicking the Head. Done that a couple hundred times too. All right. Let's see. Monologue. Let's see. We can do let's do some Carlin. Haven't done any Carlin yet. This is Airport Security by the great George Carlin. First thing on my list tonight, airport security. Tired of this shit. There's too much of it. There's too much security at the airport. I'm tired of some guy with a double-digit IQ and a triple-digit income rooting around inside of my bag for no reason and never finding anything. Haven't found anything yet. Haven't found one bomb in one bag. And don't tell me, well, the terrorists know their bombs are going to be searched, so now they're leaving their bombs at home. There are no bombs. The whole thing is fucking pointless. And it's completely without logic. There's no logic at all. They'll take away a gun, but they'll let you keep a knife. Well, what the fuck is that? In fact, there's a whole list of lethal objects they will allow you to take on board. Theoretically, you could take a knife, an ice pick, a hatchet, a straight razor, a pair of scissors, a chainsaw, 6 knitting needles, and a broken whiskey bottle, and the only thing they're going to say to you is that bag has to fit all the way under the seat in front of you. And if you didn't take the weapon on board, relax. After you've been flying for about an hour, they're going to bring you a knife and fork. They actually give you a fucking knife. It's only a table knife. But you could kill a pilot with a table knife. Might take you a couple minutes, you know. Especially if he's hefty, huh? But you could get the job done if you really cared enough, if you really wanted to kill the prick. Shit, there's a lot of things you could use to kill a guy with. You could probably beat a guy to death with a Sunday New York Times, couldn't you? Or suppose you just have really big hands. Couldn't you strangle a flight attendant? Shit, you could probably strangle 2 of them, one with each hand. You know, if you're lucky to catch them enough in that little kitchen area before they give you the fucking peanuts, you know? But you could get the job done if you really cared enough. So why is it they allow a man with big, powerful hands to get on board an airplane? I'll tell you why. They know he's not a security risk because he's already answered the 3 big questions. Question number 1, did you pack your bags yourself? No. Carrot Top packed my bags. He and Martha Stewart and Florence Henderson came over to the house last night, fixed me a lovely lobster Newburg, gave me a full-body massage with sacred oils from India, performed a 4-way around the world, and then they packed my bags. Next question. Have your bags been in your possession the whole time? No. Usually, the night before I travel, just as the moon is rising, I place my suitcases out on the street corner and leave them there unattended for several hours. You know, for good luck. Next question. Has any unknown person asked you to take anything on board? Well, what exactly is an unknown person? Surely everyone is known to someone. In fact, just this morning, Kareem and Yusuf Ali Bengaba seemed to know each other quite well. They kept joking about which one of my suitcases was the heaviest. And that's another thing they don't like at the airport. Jokes, you know? Yeah, you can't make a joke about a bomb. But why is it just jokes? What about a riddle? How about a limerick? How about a bomb anecdote? You know, no punchline, just a really cute story. Or suppose you intended to remark, not as a joke, but as an ironic musing. Are they prepared to make that distinction? Why, I think not. And besides, who's to say what's funny? Airport security is a stupid idea, it's a waste of money, and it's only there for one reason, to make white people feel safe. That's all. The illusion, the feeling and illusion of safety, because the authorities know they can't make an airplane completely safe. Too many people have access. You notice the drug smugglers don't seem to have any trouble getting their little packages on board, do they? No. And God bless them too. Oh, and by the way, an airplane flight shouldn't be completely safe. You need a little danger in your life. Take a fucking chance once in a while, will you? What are you going to do? Play with your prick for another 30 years? What are you going to read People magazine and eat at Wendy's till the end of time? Take a fucking chance. Besides, even if they made all the airplanes completely safe, the terrorists would simply start bombing other places that are crowded. Porn shops, crack houses, titty bars, and gangbangs. You know? Entertainment venues. The odds of you being killed by a terrorist are practically 0. So I say relax and enjoy the show. You have to be a realist. You have to be realistic about terrorism. Certain groups of people, certain groups, Muslim fundamentalists, Christian fundamentalists, Jewish fundamentalists, and just plain guys from Montana are going to continue to make life in this country very interesting for a long, long time. That's the reality. Angry men in combat fatigues, talking to God on a 2-way radio, and muttering incoherent slogans about freedom are eventually going to provide us with a great deal of entertainment, especially after your stupid fucking economy collapses all around you and the terrorists come out of the woodwork and you'll have anthrax in your water supply and sarin gas in your air conditioner. There'll be chemical and biological suitcase bombs in every city. And I say enjoy it. Relax. Enjoy the show. Take a fucking chance. Put a little fun in your life. To me, terrorism is exciting. It's exciting. I think the very idea that you could set off a bomb in a marketplace and kill several hundred people is exciting and stimulating, and I see it as a form of entertainment. That's all. Entertainment. That's all it is. But I also know that most Americans are soft and frightened and unimaginative, and they don't realize there's such a thing as dangerous fun. And they certainly don't recognize a good show when they see one. I have always been willing to put myself at great personal risk for the sake of entertainment, and I've always been willing to put you at great personal risk for the same reason. As far as I'm concerned, all this airport security, all the searches, screenings, cameras, questions, it's just one more way of reducing your liberty and reminding you that they can fuck with you anytime they want, as long as you put up with it, which means, of course, anytime they want, because that's what Americans do now. They're always willing to trade a little of their freedom in exchange for the feeling, the illusion of security. That felt good. Let's go back to the chat. Hey, Ryan. Thanks, man. Ooh, doing the heart. Very, very nice. We'll make it happen. I want you to know I was thinking about you. I know you love Carlin. Everybody loves Carlin. That's why I threw it in for you, because I love you. Let's go to the chat. Goodbye. Here we go. Talk show desk. Hey, everybody. Let me turn that off. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a few laughs today. And remember, the only way for us to save this country is for all of us to love one another. So love yourself first. Then love somebody else. Then, if you can, love everybody. That's what I'm trying to do. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep shining through just like you always do, and the blue skies will push the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to the folks that I know and tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, I don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next Sunday if all goes well. Bye-bye.